Okay, in this episode, we're going to learn how to do basic focus stacking in Photoshop. So you'll see here in my Lightroom catalog, I have 4 images. And if we zoom in on those, you'll see, if you look closely, that they're focused at different areas. So this first one has the focus point right here on the closest edge and a little bit up here. The next one is a little bit further down. It focuses more on this bit down in here. And the next one, it's focused on this seed pod here. And on the last one, you can see it's focused down here. Now what focus stacking will do is it will combine these 4 images with the focused areas stacked on top of each other. So effectively, it increases your depth of field for that image. So let's take a look and see how you would do that. All right, so here's the 4 images focused at 4 different points on the image, and we're going to stack them together to make one focused image. So the first thing you do is select all the images. So there's the first one, hold down Shift and select the last one. Then we're going to right click on one of the images and we're going to go Edit In. And we're not going to select the top one that says Photoshop. We're going to go all the way down to the bottom where it says Open as Layers in Photoshop. And what that will do is it'll bring all 4 of those images into one project as layers. So it's launched Photoshop and it's beginning to load each of those images as layers into this project. So you can see down here in the lower right hand corner, it's created these 4 layers out of the 4 images. So the first thing you do is you need to select all the layers. So you can see by the highlight on this image that this is the layer that's selected. So if we go down to the last one, we hold down the Shift key and select. Now all 4 layers are selected. So the first thing we need to do is make sure that they're all in alignment. So you go over to the Edit menu, go down to Auto Align Layers. You have lots of different options, but make sure it's clicked on Auto and say OK. Now, even if you're shooting with a tripod, it's a good idea to align your layers just to make sure everything's lined up properly. So it's done. It does it quite quickly. Now that they're aligned, we can merge these into a stack. So that's also under the Edit menu. Just below the Align layers, there's one called Auto Blend Layers. And that's the one we want. So we select that. And there's 2 different options, but we want the Stack Images option. So make sure that's selected and say OK. Now it's analyzing each of those images and combining the parts of each image that are in focus. If you get a warning like this, you can ignore it. It has to do with the selections, and because these were nicely aligned, they won't be visible. So you just say OK, and it does its job. Now, you can see that it's created a new layer, and it says merged in here. And if you look down at the other layers, it's added layer masks. So if you're really good at layer masks and you want to improve on what Photoshop did, you can go in and manipulate these masks. But if you look closely, you can see now that this finished merged product has it sharp here, has it sharp here, has it sharp here, has it sharp there. So it took those 4 images and merged the focused areas into one. So then you would simply go under File and you would save. And once it's saved, you can then close Photoshop If it's not finished saving, you just say OK, and it'll close as soon as it's finished. And it's saving it back into Lightroom, and we'll load this image into Lightroom. All right, so we're back in Lightroom now, and you can see over here, and it's already selected, is this new image that we've created in Photoshop, and you can see its type is a Photoshop document. So let's just see if we can get that up. So here's the merged one, and here's one of the other images that's not. And that is how you would focus stack in a nutshell. Select your images, open as layers in Photoshop, auto align, auto blend, save back to Lightroom, and you're done. Thank you very much for watching.